You made some news this week, not intentionally, where the Mountain West Conference says you can't wear your blue on blue uniforms on your blue field. When did they tell you you couldn't go with your blue uniforms at home?
I think it was sometime in the spring when all those negotiations were going on about us joining the conference. And by the time I had heard about it, the coaches, I'm not a player in that whole decision. But when I heard about it, I was like, no, don't do it. Don't go. If that's what it means, don't go. But we got something for them. We're changing our field to orange, so we'll take care of that.
You're going to go orange on orange?
No.
The best campaigns that anybody's ever put together, but you know what's going on with the breaking news that seems to constantly come in and all the allegations, so voters waiting to hear more. Kellen trying to escape, somehow does for a moment, and a rare run by Kellen Moore, and dives forward for that first down line to make. How about that from Kellen Moore?
What do you think about that?
I would think having an orange field with orange uniforms is what I would do. They said blue on blue. They didn't say any other colors, right?
Correct. So luckily Nike has come through for us, and they've got, over the last couple of years, we've got a bunch of different combinations, and so that's what we'll do. If we play a league game, we can't go blue on blue, so we'll do something different there, but we play a home game that's not league, we'll wear blue on blue, and we'll just keep mixing and matching. The kids like that anyways.
Does it give you an unfair advantage or any advantage by wearing blue uniforms on a blue field?
I got to tell you, we don't even think twice about it. And maybe because we're around it so much, but it just doesn't look even kind of strange to us.
You never said, why don't we go blue on blue and have gray jersey numbers, and we're going to play on a blue field?
I think this. Here's one of the main complaints that we got is that when you analyze our tape, it's tougher to see. And there's some truth to that, but our opponents, to me, when you look at our opponents on the field, even if they're in white, our end zone tape is a little bit tougher to see because our end zone cameras are further back. But everybody's going to this high-definition stuff anyway, so you're going to be able to see better. That was the main complaint, I think, was tape, not playing the game.
I had more of a problem with your jersey, the numbers.
Yeah.
Now, that had to be by design here?
Well, if they said change your numbers to white
or orange, then we'd say, okay, that's not a big deal. But to make us change our whole uniforms, we didn't like that. Well, you know what I feel about this, that you guys used to be the school with the blue field, and now you're one of the football powers. And that's where I said the blue field, I think it's outlived its usefulness for you guys. You're not a gimmick anymore. But people know you as Boise. We even had a poll question where I said, when you think of Boise State, what do you think of? Everybody said the blue field.
Yeah. So the blue field's going nowhere, I'll tell you that. When I first came here in 2001, the next year we were talking about changing the turf. And me kind of being a new guy thought, yeah, hey, maybe they would go green. And so they ran a poll in the paper here, and it came back like 99% it better stay blue. And after that, I've never even thought twice about it.
Does Oregon have an unfair advantage by wearing all green on a green football field?
I don't think so. And Colorado State's worn all green. But if you're going to say that blue on blue's an advantage, then I would say green on green's an advantage too. But I don't see it as that. I don't think that's a problem. But
well, let's say West Point came out, Army came out in a camo uniform on a camo football field.
Love it.
You do?
Love it.
You would have no problem playing against them with that kind of condition.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't want to play any of the academies because I know how hard those guys play, and so we wouldn't even get to that point here. We just tell the AD, no, we can't play. Unfortunately, we got to play Air Force, and that's bad enough.
He's Chris Petersen, Boise State head coach. The Blue Field's not going anywhere anytime soon. Joining us on the Dan Patrick Show. Is Kellen Moore in his 7th or 8th year at Boise State?
It seems like it, and I wish we had him for 7 or 8 years. But he's just, he's been such a special player for us, and even a better person. And that's the thing that makes it so awesome to be able to coach him and be around him.
He strikes me as a kid who's going to be a coach one day.
Well, that's what I think the plan's been all along since he's been about 5 years old, and his dad was a really good high school coach, and so he grew up around it, knowing he wanted to coach. And I can't tell you the advantage that has been for us coming in, that his football IQ and his football instincts were so high coming in, and that's why he was able to, be our quarterback, after his redshirt year.
What is the punishment if you wore the blue-on-blue uniforms during a conference game?
That is a great question, because that hasn't been answered. So who knows? Maybe we do show up on blue.
If you were going to show blue, who do you have at home that you would want to wear blue on blue? Let's just say you circled one game, conference game, blue on blue. Who are you going against?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it's, I don't know. Maybe this year it's probably TCU. Everybody seems to be wanting to see that game. But, the good thing about our kids are they don't care. Everybody else is making such a big deal about it. And, we wore all orange last year against Fresno, and, the uniforms are
That was 51-0 wasn't it?
I can't remember what the score was, but our guys played good.
Yeah.
So.
Can't remember the score. Do you expect to be in the national title picture?
No idea. Really don't. And I think if our kids get hung up thinking about that and focusing on that, I would say no, I don't expect to be there, because I think that's just too much pressure. They're paying attention to the wrong things, and all they need to be thinking about right now is themselves, and for the next 2.5 weeks is ourselves and getting better. And then we get close to Georgia, then it's all focused on then. And an hour after that Georgia game, win or lose, it is our next game, and that's really the only way we can think to have a chance to play our best.
You know what? Before I let you go, I get the feeling you're not ruling out wearing your blue uniforms at home during a conference game.
Well, you've kind of piqued the interesting question. What's the punishment? So I'm sure after this conversation, the Mountain West is going to come out and say, this is the punishment if you do it. So that's probably going to be off the table.
Thank you, Chris. Good luck.
All right. Appreciate it, Dan.
Chris Petersen, Boise State head coach. Wouldn't you think...